In this video, we're going to explore a little bit of North Carolina, Cherokee, and discuss where we can ride the side-by-side and what kind of trails they have. So stay tuned. We are leaving the gas station and heading back to the KOA campground in Cherokee. We were a little surprised that we could ride our side-by-side here. We are street legal and tagged, and we have a windshield. And here, if you are street legal and tagged, you can ride on the road. And I did do quite a bit of research to find where we could ride. This is definitely not a riding park, and you won't see very many side-by-sides at the campground or in the area, but you will see some. They do rent them here, but there are some specific rules you need to be aware of. Here is the link to where I got part of the information. I did quite a bit of searching and checking Facebook and some of the other groups as well, but the short version is if the posted speed limit must be less than 55 miles per hour, or the posted speed limit must be 35 miles per hour or less if the road has 4 or more travel lanes. And you can also cross streets and intersections. And that's because the Senate Bill number 241 was ratified and signed into law on June 14th, 2021. So there are some specifics for how you have to make it street legal and what is required, and seatbelts and, speedometer and stop sign signals and turn signals and all that. So just make sure you check all the rules and regulations before you go there so that you understand what is required to be there. But great, beautiful riding. So we're having a good time. Now, there's not a lot of trails, but there are quite a few roads. One other thing to note is some of the drivers around here, you do have to watch the turns and all. People do fly, so, they're not used to seeing side-by-side, so, you kind of have to drive for yourself and them too. This is the road. This is Big Cove Road on the way back to the KOA, to the campground. It's a beautiful campground. It is not used to side-by-sides. Nobody has said anything to us, and they seem to be fine with us driving, using it to get in and out of the park, but it's definitely not a UTV, campground. So just be respectful of the people, and for what we found, as long as you just ease in and out quietly, nobody cares. So it's a beautiful campground too. It's full hookups. We're in a pull-through site, and they've got swimming pool, and they got stuff for kids, and they've got all kinds of events and things. So it's a great little park. We're really enjoying it here. The speed limit in the campground is 5 miles per hour. We tried to be very respectful of that. We don't want to have problems with it. As you can see, the swimming pool, they have it enclosed, and they have an outside one off to the side. There's fishing, there's a bounce house, there's all kinds of things here. It really is a very pretty park. Towards the back, the sites are a little tighter, but we got a pull through that was 88 feet, so we're great. So this was kind of our first day of trail riding, or trying to see where we could ride. So we thought we would go, and we followed Onyx trails, and it shows one towards the back, and that's where this is going. It passes Mingo Falls. One of the things to note is you can ride the Blue Ridge Parkway, and we did that some, and there's some other trails off of that. And there are some actually roads or dirt roads and trails that you can ride. And there's quite a few that aren't on the Onyx, but beautiful riding area. So here is where we're going our first day exploring. This is a pretty little drive. This is where we were heading. If you look at this, I think it's called Bunches Creek Road. In the red is where we went up, but when we hit about where the red stops, it turns into a one-way, going the wrong way. So we stopped and turned back, and the blue path is what we took all the way across and down to the bottom. The yellow is the that's highlighted or circled by the black is US 19, but the white road that goes halfway down that is the Blue Ridge Parkway. And you can ride the side-by-side down that. We were still trying to figure out. We wanted to get over and finish the loop, and we hadn't quite figured that out yet. So in a later video, you'll see the whole loop. We'll do that, and I'll put it on there. You can see how it's jagged, that it's going uphill and then back down. But it was a fun ride, and it took probably a couple hours, 3 hours to do the whole thing. We just went over through Smoky Mountains and then took the parkway over to the green line and went up it and then back down to the campground. So there's quite a bit of riding like that you can do. Most of that is a dirt road. So getting there is all paved, of course. But then once you get to that trail, it's a dirt road that you can ride. And there's a bunch of trails off of it. We're going to be exploring those too, and I'll put them in future videos. But I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of what you could expect here. It's definitely not, like Hatfield and McCoy or something. It's definitely not that kind of riding, and it's not designed or set up to be that way. But you can ride all the way through the Smoky Mountains over to Tennessee. No off-road through the Smokies. Obviously, it's a national park. But you can ride the roads and to the visitor centers and see the sights. That would be a long cross to go all the way across to the other side. But like to go up to Klingman's Dome or to the Mingus Mill, you could do that. And we used it to go to Mingus Falls and hike down the falls and all. You can ride quite a bit, but you're going to be riding a lot of paved roads to get there. So, just thought I'd give you some information. Here is a little snippet of the first part of the Bunches Creek Road where we run into the end and we have to turn around. But it's right by the creek and pretty little drive. Definitely fun, and it's definitely road riding, but it's beautiful scenery. There's a one-lane bridge and a couple other unique sights along the trail. When you pass this, you're getting close to the end where you have to turn around. But it's a pretty drive, so we do the whole loop in another day. But I just wanted to give you some clips of it. Here we're back on the road trying to find the other half of this trail. So I'll show you a few of these trails and then we'll end this one here. There will be some more in the future. This one I'm going to kind of slide in with some of the other videos coming out of some of our trips that weren't side-by-side related. But we are also going to Hatfield and McCoy's and to Ride Royal Blue. So there will be some of those as well as this here in the future.